When it's time to go up in the world, when it's time to reach a new high, you need some access equipment. This model is of a Genie boom lift and it's the S85XC. And the XC stands for extra capacity. It is modelled by NZG and it's in the usual scale for this kind of model, and that is 1:32. Out of the box we have the usual pair of expanded polystyrene trays and they are factory sealed. So after cutting the tape and lifting off the lid we can take out the model. That does need a giant hand crane, and you know what? There's no assembly to do because this model is complete out of the box. Starting underneath we can see that this is a simple model. There's no base to the undercarriage, so there's no detailing, and parts of the body are just voided also. Right side up and things look much better. The wheels are nicely detailed and they have very good tyres, and there are some excellent graphics on the side of the body. The big Genie name is also nicely engraved on the sides. Looking at the back there's some nice chevrons and some sharp Genie graphics. Those very sharp graphics are also included on the boom. And as we head towards the basket, the connections used are fairly unobtrusive, and most of the basket is metal, including the handrails. There is a control console with joysticks in the basket, and one of the nicest parts of the modelling is the mesh floor, which is nicely see-through. The major detail missing on the model is the control cable rack up the side of the boom, and the boom sections are metal except the middle one, which is plastic. We dive in back under the Genie and we see that one axle spins very freely, and on the other axle there's a good steering mechanism. Not only that, the steering axle also oscillates from side to side, and that's on a fairly stiff mechanism. Out onto the Cranes Etc. test track, and if we raise the boom a little we can drive the Genie along. And there's no doubt it rolls very smoothly indeed, helped in part by its heavy weight. If we set the steering we get a decent steering angle, and if we try to tilt the oscillating axle we see that there's a decent amount of movement. And that would be used if there is uneven terrain. Okay, enough running around, it's time to get high. And the boom is controlled by a single stiff hydraulic ram. The boom also has a complex interlocking mechanism at the bottom, and as you can see you wouldn't want to be in the basket at the moment. But of course on the real machine the basket can be made to stay level. There is a decent range of movement on the boom ram, but it can't quite be posed in the most elevated position. This is a telescopic boom and it's made in 3 sections, and they extend nice and smoothly. At full extension you have the usual spring clip locking system, and to lower the boom you push the spring clip in. Overall, at full extension you get a nice big model, and the functionality of the basket has been replicated so you can rotate it from side to side, and the boom extension also allows you to get some extra height and manoeuvrability. One thing we can look at is the stability of the model, and at the maximum angle and over the front it's very stable. As you would expect, over the sides it's rather less stable. And if we gradually alter the angle of the boom we can see how far it will go before we lose stability. In reality it's not much and nothing like the real machine, and that really illustrates that in the model world the weight of the boom is disproportionately high. This is a large 1:32 scale model, so let's do a dim check. And at the maximum angle to the top of the basket, it's about 30 inches or 76 centimeters, and that's about 10% low compared to the real machine. This is a solid and robust access equipment model by NZG. It appears to have been produced to suit the Genie marketing budget, so it's not the most detailed model. However, what it does offer is something large and impressive in 1:32 scale, so if you want something solid and robust, this one is good.